My point is, we're playing Celtic in, what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks' time, something like that.
Yeah.
I dread to think what the score's going to be. I'll be honest, I think Celtic, in their form now, could take 4 or 5 off us. That pains me to say that. Absolutely pains me to say that. You see this whole thing of we'll set up differently and yada yada yada. We just don't. I guarantee you James Tavernier will play. And if he plays again, that's the definition of madness, because he got ripped apart by Maida. I don't know what Barry thinks, but see that performance against Hearts? We won't luck with Celtic. We just won't. And I hate saying that, but hate it.
Alright, Barry, what would you say?
Yeah, well, I was at the game yesterday, and certainly the second half was really worrying. It was. I'm not going to sit here and kid anybody on. I thought the first half was okay. You got off to a great start, as I mentioned. You want to see them kick on and get the second and third goal, and then put Hearts to bed. But then it kind of falls away in the second half. They become really wasteful and sloppy. They looked a bit nervy at times, and obviously the fans are getting a bit twitchy in the stands, Paul. So it has to be better. Listen, going forward, I said the problem they've got is looking at the game on Thursday night. I'm sure Paul will agree. I thought Rangers were really good on Thursday night against a good Olympiacos team. And I know it's only 3 days later, but you need to have at least a level of consistency, and that's been Rangers' problem.
Many times we said that, Barry. We played brilliant in Europe. Right?
Yep.
We do. I've been saying this every game.
But I think they play better in Europe, Paul.
Barry, they had to play. It's because of the personnel. It's the personnel more suited to Europe than it is domestically. I don't understand.
I think if you look at the European games, certainly going on Thursday night, Olympiacos, were wide open, and Rangers are okay with that. If teams come and sit behind and be really solid and compact, Rangers do struggle at times. So they need to find a solution, Paul, because the vast majority of teams that come to Ibrox are going to play like that.
Of course. Mark, what would you say to Paul?
Well, I think the cup finals 5 weeks yesterday. A lot can happen. I think I can understand Paul's concerns. There's no doubt Celtic have got the best squad, they're playing better football, but it is a one-off game, and I don't think if you're Rangers, certainly Paul, okay, he's a supporter, but you wouldn't like to hear your manager or any of your players, any member of staff have that attitude. But I get it, you're paying your money and you're not comfortable with what you're seeing, and you've got a bit of dread about the potential of what could happen in the cup final on December the 15th. But there's 4 or 5 games still to play before that. One thing that would give me that extra wee bit of concern in terms of Rangers being up against it is that Celtic playing the Tuesday night away to Zagreb, and then Rangers play at home to Spurs on the Thursday. Now that's where the manager will really have to make a decision. They'll need to sit down with staff and the fitness guys and all that, because they've got such an input now, and he has to decide, do I think I can trust enough of my players to go Thursday, Sunday and still produce a high level performance? Because you'd imagine Celtic's going to be in the front foot in the cup final, certainly for the opening stages. So he's got a decision to make. For me, what's the most important game? It's the cup final. He has to beat Celtic, Paul. Philippe Clement has to find a way of beating Celtic. I don't know if the Rangers fans would tolerate another defeat to Celtic, particularly when there's a cup up for grabs. So if I'm Philippe Clement and I've got the slightest doubt about any of my players on the Thursday night ahead of the Spurs game, I don't play them. I keep them for the Sunday for the cup final.
Barry, would you agree with that?
Yeah, because the 2 days makes a big difference. It will. So the manager, for me, the most important game is the cup final. Look, every game's important, but that is a game that Rangers, as Mark just pointed out there, have to win. They have to. So it'll be interesting to see the team that plays against Tottenham. I would imagine, or I would have a different team that plays against Celtic. You need to be going there as fresh as possible, 100% ready to lift that cup.
And do you agree with Paul? You can't put Tavernier up against Maida again?
No, I think you will see. I think the manager will sit and look closely at it. Yep, you've seen the difference. I thought Dijon was really good on Thursday for the 50 minutes. Casemiro was also good when he came into that right back area. So he's been a thorn in Rangers' sides over the last number of years, Maeda. He is one player that you can't give an inch. You need to suffocate him. If you don't suffocate him, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Tavernier doesn't have the ability or the mentality or the confidence, I don't think, to suffocate. It's a great word to use, to suffocate Maeda. I said it before the Scottish Cup final, Paul. Philippe Clement could not play Tavernier again. He had to find something different. I said put Dujon Sterling. He didn't. First Old Firm game of the season at Parkhead. Again he goes with James Tavernier. And it's not a witch hunt against James Tavernier. There's a lot of respect for him. I've defended him a lot of times. But I'm talking about for his own sake. If Philippe Clement plays James Tavernier at right back in the cup final and it backfires, then that will probably cost Philippe Clement his job. No doubt about it. That would cost him his job if he goes with James Tavernier again.